Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Thanks for tuning in. If you've subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. If you're new, subscribe. All the support is always appreciated. You can like the video, subscribe, spread the video around. Trying to build the channel up a little bit. We've been going for about a week now, but yeah, having a lot of fun doing these videos. I hope you enjoy them. Today's video was going to be about the Derek Chisora Joseph Parker rematch, which I think with the cancellation of the Dillian Whyte Otto Wallin fight, I think that the Parker Chisora rematch is probably the next big heavyweight contest in the UK anyway. And the first fight, I watched it live like a lot of you did, I'm sure, and I had Parker winning. I think I scored it 114-115 because Parker suffered a knockdown in the first round, which made that a 10-8 round for Derek. Very close fight. I thought Parker won. I thought he did the cleaner work. He survived the onslaught, which, you know, Derek always brings. He's an incredible gatekeeper, Derek. What a warrior. You look at his resume, it's incredible. He rarely beats the big guys, the best guys. But I wanted to sort of give a few views and get your feedback on Parker, because I find Joseph Parker incredibly frustrating. He's a big man, 6'4", you know, which is not Land of the Giants, you know, Fury, AJ size. But he's still a very big man, and he's still got a lot of skills, which even in the first Chisora match, he was showing some really good moves, some really slick stuff, and punching, you know, punch at the right time, using the right punches at the right time, taking the tools out of the toolbox to use at the right tools at the right time. But he's so frustrating because he seems to lack, and I'm going to use the old cliche here, you know, a killer instinct. And he seems to fight down to the level of his opponents. So when he fought Junior Farr, I mean, he clearly won that fight, but Farr wasn't offering anything special at all, and you got the feeling if Parker turned the heat up, went through the gears, he could have stopped Farr. And this has happened frequently in Parker's career. I first became aware of Parker when he beat Franz Botha, you know, an ancient, old as the hills Franz Botha. He fought Andy Ruiz, won up on points to win the WBO heavyweight title. I thought that was, yeah, you know, could have gone either way. Close fight, close fight. And then he made a couple of defences. One was against, I can't remember offhand who it was against. Cajano, I think. But it was a sort of lazy, flaccid 12-round decision. And Parker just, when he fought AJ, now, I know that people say, oh, well, he should have gone for it. And that's easier said than done, because sometimes your opponent isn't letting you go for it. And AJ, it was a kind of a mediocre performance by AJ, but Parker just didn't seem to want it enough. And I find this really perplexing. Now, a few weeks ago, we saw the third fight between Fury and Wilder, which was crash, bang, wallop, barroom brawl, not much skill on display, but Fury got the job done. Afterwards, Fury is in the dressing room having photographs taken with his wife, and his brothers are there, and Joseph Parker is there. Now, I know they're friends, and don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not a fan of trash talking or really getting personal with people, but if Parker is a heavyweight contender, why is he hanging out with Fury? Fury's got one of the belts. Yeah, you can respect each other, but you're opponents. And being an opponent doesn't necessarily make you an enemy, but it means someone else has got something that you want, that you're after. So to hang with them and have photos taken off, you know, and to sort of wallow in their victory, shouldn't Parker be thinking, I'm coming for you, just like I'm coming for, you know, Usyk, who's got the belts now, or AJ when he had them. He just seems to be, the impression he gives anyway, is that he seems to be almost too nice to be a boxer. Now, another example of this, of being too nice to be a boxer, I would say is David Price, who I don't think had Parker's ability. He was no slouch, though. He still won the British and Commonwealth titles. He was avoided by Tyson Fury when they were both undefeated. Tyson, gave up the British and Commonwealth titles, and David Price was calling for that fight. And that's, maybe, so at the time, maybe Fury thought, high risk, low reward. Well, I don't need him, I'll move on. It's not a case of being scared of someone, but you can be cautious of them. You can be cautious of taking an unnecessary risk. And he gave up the belts. And Pricey, won them. But then his career went off the rails. A couple of drug cheats knocked him out. Tony Thompson and, that useless guy, I can't remember his damn name now. Tepper, wasn't it? Erkan Tepper. Both drug cheats. They knocked him out. And his career went off the rails. And he was a bit chinny and so on and so forth. But I always got the impression with David Price, he was just too nice to be he didn't have the killer instinct. Like when he hurt Povetkin. He should, he knocked him into the corner, I think, onto the ropes. But there was no killer instinct there. So is this the same with Parker? What do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win the rematch? You would expect Parker to win it. But if Chisora's up for it, if he's genuinely in shape, and I know he's split with David Haye, and yeah, I can see Derek maybe outworking Parker. But Parker, with his skills, should really be handling the Derek Chisoras of the world easier than he did in the first fight. He may handle him easier in the second fight. I don't know. But hanging out with a champion who's got a belt that you want, it's all a bit pally-pally. Anyway, I'm not really sure about this, but something about Parker continues to frustrate me. Give me your opinions. This is not an anti-Joseph Parker video. I'm just expressing a bit of frustration here. What do you think? Do you think he's too nice? Do you think he's not going to fulfill his potential because of his reticence, his lack of killer instinct? Leave your comments below, and yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again sometime. You take care.